Okay, I'm calling to order our public hearing today on June 23rd, and I have asked Mr. Covington if he would please lead the pledge.
My pleasure.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I jumped the gun there. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are on item 2C, proposed expenditure budget for fiscal year 2025-26, and this is a discussion. So, Dr. Wilson.
Madam President, members of the governing board, our last time together, Ms. Perez made a presentation on the proposed budget, and then by statute, we had to have a wait period, and which would solicit community input. Ms. Perez is here tonight to speak to that again, and then you'll see a bit later an action item that references this item. Ms. Perez.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. In the last meeting when I presented, I gave you a base level budget that includes a 5% reduction. That is still the same thing. We're not making any changes to what was presented at the last board meeting. So just as a reminder, it's a 5% decline over the current year that is about to end here on June 30th. And then also it does not include a base level adjustment from the state. We still don't have information from the state. So any questions that I may answer for you?
Any questions?
Just a quick one. I know I had asked last time, what are some of the key ways in this budget that it reflects our priorities as a district, especially some of the strategic work, with Hope Tech and some of the other things we're working on?
In this particular budget, we have our priority obviously is always classroom instruction. Our dollars are dedicated for that and the support services that are targeted to that. It also includes in our capital any remaining remodel projects that the project that we have here at main campus, as well as any ongoing maintenance that will be needed for this upcoming year to get us back on schedule to be on the preventative maintenance plan moving forward.
Any other questions? Okay, I have a couple questions, if you could just walk me through. I was going through the budgets from the time that I have been here, and they've decreased. When I started, it was 140 million, went down, and now we're at 97 million. Can you kind of walk? Is my mic on? Did you hear me? Okay, it is on.
Okay.
Can you kind of walk me through on how that is decreasing despite our attendance increasing?
Correct. So over the past few years, even though we always budget conservatively, expecting a decline in enrollment, we have been fortunate in that we have received, an increase for our central campus attendance. However, if you recall, over 4 or 5 years ago, we started a construction out at our Power campus. We did an expansion at Power campus. We've also been on I believe this is our second year in our remodel here at our main campus. So the budget, even though we've received increased funding from an M&O perspective, we've also seen a decrease in our utilization of the funds that we had set aside for capital projects such as the expansion at Power campus as well as our main campus remodel. Also within the last few years, we also saw an increase in federal funds related to COVID, but then those obviously are all gone.
And would it be fair for me to say too, and if it's not, just tell me because I don't know, that the governing board, in an effort to try to make sure that we're able to attract and retain quality staff, that the amount that they've generated for compensation is significantly greater, which would mean that there's less that carries over from year to year?
Correct.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think this question is for you, Dr. Wilson. Okay. Just going through some numbers. So again, I'm just going back to 22 from when I started here, and we had things like 105 teachers, total staff 199, and then for fiscal year 26, it's projected we'll have 133 teachers, which is awesome, but total staff is 332.
So I think one of the things that we see when we start looking at how we can operationalize the organization, right? We have our certified staff, which obviously are the individuals that are in direct contact with our students. But we also know part of where we were not diligent in years past was having the appropriate support staff, meaning when we looked at our custodial crew as an example, the ability for us to have enough custodians that allowed us to have our rooms clean on every single day. Come back in class or out of class. When we look at our facilities, our ability to have a team that was able to maintain our campuses at a rate that allows us to protect the financial investment of our organization. When you look at the growth of some of the programs we brought in as adult or as a grant opportunity, so when you look at the apprenticeship, those are grant opportunities. They're going to reflect a number of employees in the organization that aren't necessarily teachers, but are also part of the employee staff, but not paid out of the M&O, paid out of the grant. When you look at what we've said before, when we talk about growing our adult ed programs, one of the things that we realize is that we're going to have an overage for a bit of time in terms of some of the non-teacher positions so that we can grow those opportunities. The ability to offer the associates and nursing, as an example, required us to bring in individuals that were responsible for managing the program as we grow the program out. And so we anticipate that we're going to see some of that as we work to get our adult ed numbers growing in a way that allows us to then hire more teachers. It's kind of that, and this is a silly analogy, but it's almost kind of that chicken and the egg, which comes first. Well, we made the decision that if we're going to become who we expect ourselves to be, that we're going to have to staff ourselves for that growth. And when the growth, to make that growth a reality, and when that growth comes, then we will add staffing in terms of classroom instruction as needed. And I think we're starting to see that. I think we're starting to see some of the fruits of the labor. When you look at our nursing program and the numbers that we're running in it now and the numbers that we're hoping to continue to run will require us to add more sessions and more sections, which would be more instructional staff, not necessarily management positions, because those positions were already filled on the onset of the growth of those programs.
I appreciate that.
Sure, go ahead.
Can I also add, in our reporting requirements, the number of instructors that you see here are high school certified instructors. So all of our adult ed instructors are listed under the classified staff.
Is that the classified staff? Okay. Would that be under the classified, would that be other? I'm trying to remember.
So that
if
would
I've
be
written it
under
down
the
as-
158 that's listed on, if I'm looking at the same page as you, in the summary, it's 158 classified employees. Some of that number includes our adult education
Okay.
instructors.
Is
Thank
that
you.
because, Ms. Perez, they don't have to be certificated?
It's because they're not certified by the State Board of Education for the post-secondary, I'm sorry, for the secondary programs.
I understand, that's, yeah, okay.
Okay. Would that, so if I'm looking at the classified, there's managers, supervisors, directors, another line for teachers' aides, and then another line for other. Would they be under other? Is that what? And I'm on the bottom of page 12 where it says staff type.
They would be included in the 158.
Classified
The other is
Okay,
zero.
Okay, got that. Okay, thank you, that's really good info. Dr. Wilson, to go back, we've had conversations, my worry is too much administrative bloat versus, in the classroom and dollars going to the classroom. So as we're all in agreement in the programs that we want to grow, and we know that that comes with more staff. What do you see this year looking like in terms of, we have a lot of staff, we've got programs going, are we going to put, not a freeze, but are we going to be very careful about growing since, in 25, or fiscal year 25 was 214, and now we're at 332. That's
Right.
a big leap in terms of people we've hired. I guess I should phrase this better. How carefully are you watching this in terms of hiring more people for non-classroom positions?
Correct. That's a great question. I think one of the things that I've said since I became the superintendent, that the value that we offer our students isn't because of a guy like me sitting in office over here. It's the people we put in front of our students every single day in terms of the instructors. And so there's always a priority on that. I believe that we are in a position currently right now that we are, with the exception of the VET tech program, are in a position where we have the support we need in order to grow the programs out. Now, I will tell you, we've also learned the lesson that being an administrator or being in a manager position at EVIT is uniquely different than other places, right? We're not a traditional school, so sometimes the traditional pathway doesn't work, but we are a school, so sometimes the non-traditional pathway doesn't work. And so there are times in which if we know that we're going to sunset a position, an individual is going to retire or whatever the case is, we may bring in, and this just isn't just administration, we do it for teachers as well, we may bring individuals on a year before or 6 months before in order for them to be able to train with the individuals that are leaving, recognizing that for a year, we might have a 2.0 FTE in a position that only warrants one. But at the end of the year, one person's leaving, and now we've had an individual that has a year under their experience being able to shadow and work with. So to answer your question, our goal is always to maintain as reasonable and as reasonable amount of non-teacher support as we can to make the organization successful, recognizing that our dollars must be first prioritized to the classroom instructors. But we will have times like we have now in which we have to add before we grow, and we will have times in which we add in order to make sure that once the person that leaves, the new person that's there is able to be successful, because we've learned from the past that sometimes we bring individuals in and they don't have the kind of success that we want them to have, and that just compounds the problem. So to answer your question, I am very mindful of it, and I will continue to be mindful of it, but I don't want to mislead the board in that we've done hiring because we knew we needed it to grow, and we will at times continue to hire and have it be an overage, knowing full well that the individual is going to be leaving at the end of the year.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, if there's no more questions, then we are going to adjourn this public hearing. And do we need to vote on adjourning a public hearing?
I
Yes, we
adjourn.
do.
I do oppose adjournment.
I second.
Okay, please call the vote by acclamation.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, so that meeting is closed, and now we're going to call to order our regular meeting, and we are going to start with item 5, which is minutes. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve item 5A, the regular meeting minutes from June 9th, 2025.
Second?
Okay, any discussions?
I have one question on there,
Okay,
is on the calendar, it says we're scheduled to have a meeting on no, that's the wrong one. Never mind. It's the next one.
okay. Mr. Lane, did you have something you wanted to say?
I was going to second the motion, but
Okay. You do the next one. Okay, please,
it's okay.
please call the vote.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Call to the public. Do we have any calls to the public? I don't believe
No,
so.
we don't.
Okay. So item 7, consent agenda. If anyone wants to pull anything out, otherwise is there a motion to approve items A through L?
I move to approve consent agenda items A through L.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion here? Any questions? Okay, please call the vote by acclamation.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay.
Rhonda, I hope you enjoy all your travels. All your travels. Requests.
We just did the consent agenda, so, yeah. You know,
I know, you know.
no one wants to go to Tucson in July. That's hot, come on. Right? Okay, item 8, personnel A and B. Is there a motion? Now's your
I'll
turn,
keep-
Mr. Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
I'll move
second.
that we approve the personnel request, A and B.
I second.
Excellent. Any discussion for personnel? Okay, please call the vote by acclamation.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. So action items, we are back to our proposed expenditure budget after getting all that explanation from Mrs. Prez and Dr. Wilson.
I so move that we accept the budget for 25, 26.
Second?
All right, please call the vote by roll call.
Mr. Covington?
Aye.
Mr. Hancock?
Aye.
Mr. Boyle votes aye. Mr. Hunt?
Aye.
Dr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Watkins?
Aye.
Mr. Lane?
Aye.
Mr. Hobson?
Aye.
President McAfee?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, action item 9B, approval of board member overnight travel to the ACTE Career Tech Vision 2025 National Conference. So,
I would like to attend that.
okay, so
I would also like to attend.
Mr. Lane and Mr.
I haven't been
Covington.
to one in several years.
Okay. Okay, so when we make the motion, we need to include their names in the motion. So if there's no further discussion or nobody else wants to throw their name in, I'd like a motion including Mr. Covington and Mr. Lane's names, please.
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve item 9B and let Mr. Lane and Mr. Covington go, oh, it's not Tucson, it's Nashville, Tennessee. Sorry. For the ACT Career Tech Vision 2025 National Conference. So both Mr. Lane and Mr. Covington are delegates.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Okay, please call the vote by acclamation.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam President, I have a comment.
Yes.
I think that Mr. Covington and Mr. Lane should do a little, small little concert for us when they come back from Nashville. Singing,
usually do.
yodeling, whatever.
Well, I can only carry a tune if you have a big bucket.
He's good with candy, though, giving it out.
And Mr. Lane, it could be a song and dance routine.
It could be, yes, with a cowboy
I was
hat.
gonna say, as long as there are
Make
costumes.
sure we got America's Got Talent guy there.
I love that.
On a Grand Ole Opry for you.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Item 9C, policy revisions. This is a second read, so Mr. Quell. Is there anything you want to add? I don't think so,
I
but
don't think so. We're just
Just-
deleting the one because we don't have an appeal process in the current evaluation instrument, and we're just adding to the surplus equipment requirements to comply with the grant requirements,
thank you.
which, by the way, we're already doing. We're just making it official now.
Is there a motion to approve these policy revisions?
Move the approval of 9C policy revisions in our agenda.
I second.
Thank you. Okay, please call the vote by acclamation.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to executive session. We have two, so I would like a motion to approve for us to go into executive session.
I move that we have an executive session for A and B. Be dismissed for it.
I second.
Okay, please call the vote.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and we're staying in here. Okay. Excellent. We are called to order. We're back in to our general meeting here, and we are on item 11A, which is action item A, possible action regarding litigation with Justin Heights.
Madam President,
Yes.
I move that we authorize the Director of Legal Services to appear and defend the district in the matter of Justin Hines versus EVIT. And I'd like to explain my vote, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
When we established the position into which we hired Mr. Kilgore, I think it actually provided that was the role that person was going to fulfill, to appear and represent and defend EVIT in I think in state federal court and in various administrative proceedings. So I'm not quite sure exactly why we need to do this, but in an abundance of caution, I think we should authorize Mr. Kilgore to continue to appear and defend the district in the pending matter involving Mr. Hines and EVIT. So I would urge the board to approve my motion.
Second.
Second. Any other comments?
I just wholeheartedly agree with everything Mr. Hobson said.
Thank you for explaining it. Agree. Okay, please call a vote of acclamation.
Did we get a second?
We did.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Do roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. So action item 11B, possible action regarding entering into new IGAs with partnering districts.
Madam President,
Yes.
I move that we authorize the superintendent and the director of legal services to proceed as we discussed in executive session.
Is there a second?
Madam President, I make a second.
Thank you. Please call the vote by roll call.
Mr. Covington?
Aye.
Mr. Hancock?
Aye.
Mr. Boyle votes aye. Mr. Hunt?
Aye.
Dr. Metcalf?
Aye.
Mr. Watkins?
Aye.
Mr. Lane?
He's on mute.
Asleep.
Mr. Lane,
Okay,
Aye.
thank you.
Mr. Hobson?
Aye.
President McAfee?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, staff reports. Dr. Wilson.
Madam President, members of the governing board, just really quickly, I'd like to take a minute and thank Mr. Bernasek and his facilities and maintenance crew, and Mr. Maddox and his technology crew. We talked about this when the meeting started, but we woke up this morning at 4:45 to a text saying that we had a break in one of our water lines, and the district office, with the exception of this room, was essentially flooded. And, it's very easy in situations like that to say, oh my gosh, this is just, and it's really a difficult situation. But by the time I got here, our facilities and maintenance crew were already on site, helping to get water out of the building and also helping to pack up stuff that was going to need to get packed and moved out. The tech crew throughout the day ran all over campus, reallocating our district office personnel and staff into vacant positions that we had for them and set them up using the technology. Dr. Doolan and the administrative team walked the campus to find places for people to go that needed a space because they were going to get, had to move out of building 3. So my point on that is, as frustrating as situations like this today are, and believe me, it's extremely frustrating, it also is a wonderful sight to see that as an organization when situations like this occur, folks work incredibly hard to make a difficult situation much, much better, and to make a situation that in many organizations would have crippled them for a period of time, not cripple us. And so I thank very much the tech department and everybody today, facilities, administration, for jumping in at 4:45 in the morning and all day long to make sure that we were able to do our business today. So our hope is that it's about a 4 to 5 week process. I think one of the things that we're going to find out is they're obviously going to have to replace the flooring. The question becomes how much, if any, water went into the drywall. And if that's the case, then they've got to remove the drywall and re-drywall and spackle and paint and things like that. There's also some damage to some of our furniture that we're going to have to get replaced. And so there's going to be some drip as time goes by. But the hope is that we're back in our setting come the start of school. So fingers crossed that Chase is correct in their assessment, and this is just a four-week adventure. So other than that, moving along, OP days, 2 OP days, we have I want to say 7,200-ish students that have paid and picked up their supplies. Another 200-ish that have paid but haven't picked up. And that we have about 1,000 that we're still engaging to try to see, are they coming, are they not coming? If they're coming, can we get their fees paid? So we'll continue to update you on the numbers, but we're encouraged. We've not been in a situation, we talked before about what are we going to do differently this year versus last year to help mitigate some of those issues. I think we're seeing some of that. We never had at a point in time last year, going into the school year, 7,200 students that had paid and picked up.
That's great.
That's a really good indicator that we have those numbers. Now, the next step of making sure that we keep those numbers. So, but we'll keep updating you as the summer months progress. Other than that, we're doing pretty well.
Great. I'm glad we kind of called out the tech team. I've wanted to thank them every meeting for all you do, keeping us online. So kind of the behind the scenes, unsung heroes that no one ever gets to see. But thank you. Wouldn't happen without you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank
I know,
you.
I feel like we owe you pizza, mainly because I'm starving. We could all share afterwards.
Add some ice cream to that.
Camaraderie afterwards, yeah. So, okay, closing items. I know this is some favorite moment. So our next meeting is, let's do calendar real fast. July 15th. Is July 28th going to be a problem since that's, the first, well, it's not
So
technically
July,
the first
I mean,
week.
we-
Is that going to be a problematic being so close to the first day of school?
I mean, we had talked about that we potentially might want to cancel that meeting just because it is the first, so close to the start of
So,
school.
play it by ear.
But we'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
And I think it should be the 4th.
It should be the 14th.
The 14th is our next meeting, and unless we are able to pull or can and need to and can pull a quorum together between now and then, but the regular schedule meets the 14th, yes.
Great. Okay, Mr. Covington, time
I
to shine.
adjourn. No, let's just get out of here.
Okay, I'll second. Please
sleeping.
call the vote.
I'll
All
second.
those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carried.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night,
you all.
everyone.
Thank you.